So let's start with Kelly. So Kelly, what are the big issues they're motivating voters in Pennsylvania?
Well, we're looking at crime. I know it's a big issue across the country, but especially here in this Pennsylvania Senate race. It's all across the ads. Have been all across the TV screen, especially the last couple of days. Mehmet Oz hitting John Fetterman for being soft on crime during his time as the mayor of Braddock, and John Fetterman hitting Mehmet Oz for not understanding the issues of Pennsylvanians because he is a celebrity TV doctor and he lives in New Jersey. But what really stands out about this race and adds a whole new layer here is still Fetterman's ongoing recovery from the stroke that he had back in May. You know, he is a candidate that is actively recovering from a stroke that he says nearly killed him. He's been on the road trying to get back on the campaign trail. We saw his performance in the NewsNation debate about 2 weeks ago. Whether or not this stops Fetterman from winning the race, of course, remains to be seen. We'll find out over the course of tomorrow or potentially the next couple of days. But he is making his final pitch to voters here in his old stomping grounds in Pittsburgh, here tonight just behind me. But, Joe, what are you seeing as the big issue over there in Ohio?
Well, Kelly, inflation is hitting everywhere, right? But here in Ohio, there's a big focus from both campaigns on jobs. This is part of one of those states that has lost a lot of manufacturing jobs overseas. It's been big parts of both campaigns, big issues in debates, and it's something that voters here are very much aware of. They want to see whoever wins this race go to Washington and fight to try to bring those jobs back. Another interesting thing about Ohio, that it is a swing state, but it's typically a redder swing state, one that leans toward Republicans. So the Democrats here, certainly underdogs. They think they can try to overcome it and get over the polling. Let's see if that actually happens. But when you talk to voters, left or right, blue or red, they are focused on jobs, those manufacturing jobs very specifically. Brooke, let's send it over to you. What are you hearing from voters in Georgia?
Well, hey, Joe, here in Georgia, a major concern tonight is a mistake caught in Cobb County. This is just outside of Atlanta. The elections department here discovered that about 1,000 absentee ballots were never mailed out. The director of elections here in Cobb County called this a critical error and a human error. She said that an employee in her office missed an important step in making sure that the ballots were sent out. So in their system, it looked like these 1,000 or so ballots were mailed out when they actually weren't. Election workers in Cobb County are right now overnighting ballots to hundreds of voters. The Secretary of State said his office has now launched an investigation into the ballot mistake. Another issue on the minds of voters here in Georgia is abortion and abortion access. We have talked to several people who said abortion rights is a huge motivator for them to get out and vote. Another voter told me he's not even necessarily voting for the candidate. He is voting a straight pro-life ticket. From here in Georgia, I will send things about 1,500 miles away over to Arizona and Robert Sherman. Hey, Robert, what are people telling you there?
Hey there, Brooke. Yeah, of course, a lot of these big issues, inflation, the economy, abortion. Yeah, of course, those are all top of mind here. But here in Arizona, a very unique issue is the U.S.-Mexico border. Some people are talking about it around the country, but here in Arizona, people live it on a daily basis. It's been a record year at the U.S.-Mexico border in terms of people crossing, in terms of drugs flowing into the U.S. And this is something that a lot of people are focused on here. The Republicans have taken the baton and run with it. You have Carrie Lake, who says that she's going to declare a state of invasion within the first hour of taking the governor's mansion if she is elected. Blake Masters says he's not going to vote for anything on the Biden agenda until they get more border security. On the other hand, with the Democrats, you've had them come up and say, as a result, that they want to focus on the border a bit as well. Both Mark Kelly and Katie Hobbs saying that they can't deny that there is a problem on the border and they have to be more involved here. This is something that Arizonans have been dealing with for a long time. It's never been worse than it is now, and it's something that just about everybody is looking for a solution to.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.